Hey YouTube, it's been a long time. Glad to be back. Thanks for all the comments, questions, and feedback. I am still catching up to everything, so if I haven't got back to you yet, I will shortly. Currently, I still have the giveaway going on until this coming Friday. I will be going live on Facebook, and I will be picking two lucky winners. One lucky winner is going to get a $25 gift card, and the other is going to get a $50 gift card to Tackle Warehouse. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you guys go ahead and like, subscribe, and make sure you follow the rules. I think it's tag a friend too, so make sure you guys do that so you guys can get entered. But today we're going to talk about fishing line. I live in Wisconsin. There's still a ton of snow outside. I don't ice fish, nor do I want to spend money on it. That's another investment of its own. So I can't be fishing right now, nor can I be testing out a whole lot of product. So I want to talk about fishing line. You know, I've heard a lot of guys ask me about what I like to use, why I like to use it. So I'm going to basically break down what I have here. A little disclaimer, I don't have any affiliations or loyalties to any of the companies that you kind of see on the table. I don't have any sponsorships from anybody here. These are all purchased out of my own funds and what I like to use on a daily basis. Okay, so no biases. This is just what I like to use. I'm going to talk a little bit about each. There's one on a table that I don't have, that I don't use. It's going to be monofilament. So let's talk about that first to get that out of the way. So before I begin with this though, the reason why I want to talk about it is because people ask me again, you know, what do I like to use and why? And it can get overwhelming because if you go to your local store, you're going to see a ton of different kind of lines. You're going to see a ton of different kind of types of lines, from monofilament to braid to fluorocarbon, yada yada, copolymer, whatever they have these days. So let's talk about monofilament first, okay? Monofilament is some pros into it. It's, you know, obviously the line that kind of, you know, was basically the line that kind of started fishing back in the day. You know, it was the cheapest. It was basically, it worked, got the job done. It had some pros, had some cons like everything else, but monofilament is still a very popular line that a lot of people like to use. Some pros, it floats, and memory is very low. Okay, so your memory with it is going to be very low. So a lot of people still like to use it today. I don't use it, and I'm going to talk to you guys about why. But there's a lot of cons about it too. There's a lot of stretch with monofilament. It's not a sinking line. It is going to be used for any kind of suspending baits or any kind of topwater applications. Okay, so you know, for topwater, you're probably thinking spooks, whopper ploppers. You're not going to be throwing frogs with monofilament. You know, that's going to, well, unless you're fishing open water, but you're probably going to be throwing spooks, jerk baits, whopper ploppers with monofilament. Once you get to that thick, heavy vegetation, that's when you're going to use braid, because 50-pound monofilament is going to be super thick, and you can't really, you're not going to be able to get any use out of that. So I don't like to use monofilament, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about why. I like to keep it simple: braid or fluorocarbon. So on the table here you see a couple different brands from each that I like to use. Again, I don't have any kind of loyalties to any of these. These are just the ones that I like to use. So let's talk about braid first, since it's, you know, I'll just move over left to right. So again, there's going to be all types of different kind of braids, all types of different kind of monofilament, all types of fluorocarbon. Use what's best for you. Okay, this is just what I like to use, and I've had good experience with these, so I'm going to continue to use it unless something comes out that's miraculously better. So Power Pro, let's start with the Power Pro. This is a great braid. I like to use Power Pro on all of my spinning setups. I like to throw a 20-pound test, and then I like to always throw some type of fluorocarbon leader. So my favorite fluorocarbon leader, I don't have it on the table right here, but it's basically 8-pound FC Sniper. And I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about why I like to use it, because well, I like to throw a braid because memory is very, very bad when it comes to fluorocarbon. Okay, so memory is very, very bad when it comes to fluorocarbon. Now you can try to say, hey, you know, I'm going to use line conditioner or things like that, which I do use. But if you were to put fluorocarbon on a spinning reel, you're asking for knots, you're asking for a lot of casting issues. I mean, it's just not feasible. It's possible, but yet again, you're going to have to swap it out every single, not every time you fish, but you're going to have to swap it out because the memory is very, very bad. So that's why I like to use this. Plus, you can also get a lot more, you could definitely get better casting distance with throwing braid on your spinning setup. So all of my spinning setups have some sort of 20-pound braid on there, and then again, depending upon the application, if I'm throwing Ned rigs, I might just use a foot leader line. If I'm throwing drop shot, I might use 6 or 7 feet, maybe even 8 feet, depending upon where I'm fishing. So Power Pro with the 8-pound fluorocarbon leader. Suffix A32. I like to use Suffix. I actually prefer it over Seaguar Smackdown because of cost. I do think that the Smackdown is a better performer, but in terms of cost, your Suffix A32 is going to be more reasonable for everyone. This is great line. I actually prefer using A32 over Power Pro when it comes to 50-pound test. It just flies off the spool a lot smoother, in my opinion. Now I'm talking about normal Power Pro, I'm not talking about super slick. But I just like it, and it's, you can catch these on sale. They're really good. I think every single Spring Classic, Bass Pro or Cabela's has these for like buy one get one half off or buy one get one free. I forgot what the nonchalant deal was, but it's pretty cool. I like it. I use it. It's on most of my top water applications, reels that I use. Smackdown, I really like this. I typically keep it on my my frogging setup, but I kind of rotate the two. Again, the cool thing about braid is that once you put it on, you don't have to take it off. It lasts you a very long time. I keep it on for several years and then I swap it out. So I actually have a ton still, but Seaguar Smackdown and Suffix, I prefer the Smackdown in terms of performance, but your everyday user is probably going to prefer the Suffix because it's just a lot cheaper. Is there a big difference? I don't know. It depends who you ask, right? I think they both work phenomenal. I have no problems with both, but these are the different kind of examples of what kind of braid are available on the market. So, and the reason why you want to use braid is for any kind of heavy flipping application. You can get further casting distance out of it, or if you are throwing any kind of top water. So, again, I talked about monofilament and using it on spooks. I like to keep it simple. I like to just use braid on all my top water applications. So if I'm throwing a spook, a frog, a whopper, plopper, whatever, I like to use braid all the time, just to keep it simple. Again, I don't want to have a monofilament rod or a braid. I just want to keep it simple and say, hey, this is my 2 top water rods. And I like to use Suffix and I like to use Smackdown. So that's why I like to use braid, kind of, top water applications, or on my spinning setups. Everyone, uses it differently. That's the way I like to use it. So talking about fluorocarbon, I have 3 different kinds on here. I have more of an entry level here. This is the Seaguar Red Label. These are very, very affordable. This 1,000 yard? Yeah, this 1,000 yard one was probably only like $60. I like to use it as backing for my, my bait cast setups. And when you're probably asking me like what, how, basically what I do is I tie this on, and it basically, I reel in about maybe half or maybe about a third into it. Then I basically cut it. Then I'll tie what I really want, either the FC Sniper or the shooter. Then I don't have to waste a lot of good line. Okay, not saying Seaguar Red Label is bad, but Seaguar Red Label is kind of your entry level into the fluorocarbon market. But let me talk about the pros and cons of fluorocarbon. So fluorocarbon, low visibility, denser than water, so that means that it does sink, versatile, suitable for a wide range of applications, and it does not absorb water. So you're not going to get different kind of, you're not going to get different kind of results, whether it's in water or if you're casting it. It's always going to be the same. And then some cons is that memory. That memory part on fluorocarbon is just ridiculous. How However, I found that Sunline FC for me has been the best in terms of memory line. You just have to make sure you treat it with some fluorocarbon line conditioner. Okay, I use the Bass Pro one, which is the same thing as the KBD one. So if you can find that, use it. I like it. I usually spray 2 sprays, one on the face of it, then I turn the spool around and I spray another on the other face. Let it soak in overnight, and then the morning of, you're good to go. So that basically line condition soaks in the actual spool, and then basically the morning of a tournament, your memory basically is not going to be there in a way. It's kind of weird, but it works. It's not a sales gimmick. The actual line conditioner does work on fluorocarbon, and it has this really silky material, so it makes it really nice and like new again, like how it is new out of the box, like right here. So I've had great success with Sunline. I have no problems with these at all. I really prefer these over any other kind of fishing line. But again, I have another one here too. This is the shooter. So why would I prefer shooter, or why would I prefer Sunline FC? You know, shooter is way more expensive. Can I just get away with using FC Sniper? Yeah, you can. FC Sniper is going to be used for all around applications. It is my go-to for everything. And then I have shooter for flipping. So this is the only time I'll use shooter. It is more sensitive. However, shooter has a lot more memory. So that's why I like to use FC Sniper for all of my applications. They are expensive in a way, but yet again, you pay what you get for, especially in the fishing industry. So FC Sniper is definitely my go-to. I like to keep it simple. I like to use 16 for all my applications, whether if I'm cranking, whether if I'm throwing jigs, flipping, plastics, T-rigs, whatever. I'm always using 16, and then if I'm using shooter, I like to use 14 and 16 depending upon what I'm flipping. So if I'm flipping a Cinco, or if I like to throw 14. If I'm throwing a jig or I'm throwing a Texas rig, then I'll throw 16 shooter. But again, for most of my setups, I run FC Sniper. So some more cons about fluorocarbon I didn't really get to is the abrasion resistance that you get out of it. Braid is really good for abrasion resistance. Your fluorocarbon really isn't so much. So there's some cons to it. But again, most of the pros supersede the cons in terms of fluorocarbon. So if you're looking to get into some higher level fluorocarbon, try FC Sniper, try shooter. You will not be disappointed. Seaguar and Vizix is great too, so you can use Seaguar and Vizix. I like to use FC Sniper because it's never disappointed me, so I like to use that brand. So those are kind of my go-tos here. I'm going to kind of show you guys a trick too in regards to my Braid. So Braid has no memory, so what I like to do if I'm swapping out lines on my reels, I like to save the Braid and I like to throw it on, wrap it on a water bottle, so I can reuse it. Again, Braid lasts a very long time. It doesn't have any memory, and so save your braided line and reuse it, because you don't want to have to pay $40-50 for Seaguar Smackdown. So save your line, save a lot of money. You can't do that with any other line, unfortunately. Fluorocarbon is just going to get you're going to get chewed up with the line memory. And then with monofilament, it's so cheap anyways, you might as well just buy a new one. So that's why I like to do this with my Braid, because I get to save Seaguar Smackdown, and if I ever need it again, I can go ahead and put it on. Especially because I fish a lot of tournaments here and there, so some tournaments I need to throw a lot of topwater or a lot of Braid, and then some tournaments I'm fishing a lot of clear water, so I'm going to be throwing my fluorocarbons here as well. So if you guys have any questions about anything, feel free to let me know. I just wanted to talk about some fishing line really quickly and why I like to use FC Sniper, Shooter, Red Label, Power Pro, Suffix, and Seaguar. Those are my favorite Braid and fluorocarbon. But again, if you guys have anything else, you guys ever tried something different, let me know. I'm interested. Again, I'm invested in these because it has not disappointed me. But if you guys have anything different, let me know. I'd love to try it. Again, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure you guys follow the rules in terms of the giveaway for this coming Friday. Still have a couple of days to enter, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.